Yo, with the boys right now. Got Jaden in the house.
What
up? Gerard. Got
What
Scott. We're gonna do some quick tips. We were just in the studio. I interviewed these rock stars, and we're gonna be breaking down just a couple of the things, kind of recapping what we covered. Let's start with G real quick. He's got the third season of Leaders Create Leaders coming up. You can come in, dude. You're good. Leaders Create Leaders, Gerard's show. Third season in the finale coming up.
Oh man,
Break it down, bro. People got to jump over and you got to go watch this guy's show.
Yeah, it's definitely. If you guys haven't seen it, Leaders Create Leaders on my YouTube channel, Gerard Adams TV. So basically, over the past 2 years, interviewed some of the greatest modern day leaders of our generation. And really, on this finale, I just want to go into what I've noticed as, like, you know, with all of these leaders, you know, we all have a different story. We all have a story, but what I've noticed about them, and regardless of just these 50 leaders or not, just all the greatest entrepreneurs, you know, just humans in general in history, they all have this, almost like they have this superpower, this gift, you know. And I really break down the fact that what I've realized is, like, it's within all of us. And you know, this whole finale for me is like getting into how you can really truly hack your mind. And when you're able to do that, and you're able to understand your mind and understand your belief system and detach to this world that is trying to control you and confine your energy, and tap into a whole nother level of energy that's out there and pull that into you, you can truly manifest your reality and create the reality that you envision, that ultimately is going to bring a abundance of opportunity and wealth to your life. And so for me, you know, if you guys watch the series, it's very cinematic. So this episode's going to go deep. I'm definitely taking you to the universe and totally making you look at the world in a different perspective. Hopefully it just gives you that little spark to really tap into something within yourself that is the exact gift that Steve Jobs, and all the other greats out there have within them, so that you can go out there and do exactly what you were always meant to do, and be the greatest version of yourself. So I'm excited, guys. Be ready for that finale. And Mark, man, that interview we just did with Business Rockstars was like epic. So definitely check that out too,
Straight
guys.
fire. Let's get Scotty to jump in.
Yo, this guy is a fucking...
It's crazy because we were like, I was listening to his interview and I was like, shit, like, it's crazy the similar journey of like how important ego is inside of like, because I think ego is our biggest advantage and our biggest, downfall.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have our ego, if we don't have the ability to wake up in the morning and be like, I am that person that's slightly distorted in the mirror, but that's the person I'm becoming, then we can't do anything.
Yeah.
But that person being too distorted makes it so that we kind of show up in life and be like, nothing kind of works, nothing kind of happens. So we had a heck of an interview.
Oh,
It was
for
good
sure.
time.
I know. These are going to be out. The interviews are going to be dropping probably in a week, less than a week. So stay tuned. Make sure you're following Scott. Obviously, he's already been tagged, and Gerard. But these interviews are going to be fire. I'm going to be dropping both of them. Same week.
It's good. It's a lot of fun.
Your ROI method, man, like that was I was behind the scenes, guys, and
we got to break down.
Really, really powerful.
It was, well, you know what? At the end of the day, it's the ethical way of marketing that allows us to, instead of manipulate, because majority of marketing is based upon, all right, let's create a pain, right? Or like let's amplify pain. But if we just like quite literally said, well, you know what? Let's illuminate the pain, and then allow, because when you call your plumber, you don't have to create scarcity. Right? The plumber doesn't have to say, you buy right now and I'll give you $50 off. It's like, I wanna fix that problem right now. And so if we're relevant to the right person at that right time of being able to message them and talk to them, and then we're always in front of them, right? We're omnipresent, we're always in front of them, and then they feel connected to us. Well, we want to do business not with bots, not with automation. We want to do business with people where it's like, this was meant to be. It's kind of like creating the moment that perhaps it feels like it was manifested.
Yes.
And we can reverse engineer that and in a very ethical way do business with people. And I think that's
the key to
everything. that is the key to it. Doesn't matter if it's relationships, doesn't matter if it's your audience. I think that is everything. That is marketing and business. And because I'm not a marketer, and I always felt shitty getting onto a webinar and being like, cart's gonna close on Friday until next week. And I just kind of self-discovered the fact that if we just bring it back to like what I would do,
bring it back to being human,
right, what I would do with you, or what I would do with you, or what I would do with anybody that's in a room. Why don't we do that instead of trying to, kind of manipulate? Yeah. I mean,
you have enough people out there doing that.
You got that right. So
it's bringing it back to the basics.
It's super basic.
Not all the fancy shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, my marketing funnel now has like almost no automations. It's literally like, here's value, and I'm just going to keep on giving you value. Yeah. And when you're ready, when you're good, push a button, say hello, and you can buy from me now.
Take it to the next level.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really it. That's really, I'm excited.
Let's have Jaden jump in real quick.
Yeah.
We got the boy Jaden over here.
What's up, guys?
You guys need help with social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. This is the guy. Let's drop some quick little nugget bombs for these people. We were mapping out stuff all for the last 48 hours. He was over at my house mapping out some strategies.
Yeah.
Break it down. What's some of the things? What are some quick little tips and tricks? You showed me too many. I can't even.
Yeah. So and it's so cool because you guys talk about this so much. Being a human, not trying to manipulate, but trying to illuminate. Yeah. When you said that lit me up because I was like, wow, I never phrased it like that. Manipulate and illuminate, because whenever I see influencers doing it well on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube, they all have this golden lining, and that golden lining is they tell their story, but they make you want to tell yours too. Mm-hmm. And they don't try to have you do it in a way that feels disingenuous. They make you feel like everything that they're doing is something that you can do. Yeah. So it's something that they want you, they enable you. And it was so cool because you talked about looking at that person in the mirror and feeling like you're slightly deluded. And I love that quote by Thomas Edison, which is, vision without execution is pure delusion. And so many people get caught in that vision of who they could be that they don't actually act. And you talked about it too, analysis paralysis. Make sure that if you see something online, right, that inspires you, don't get deluded without executing. You have to make sure that every single day, if you comment on people's posts, Instagram's algorithm knows that, and they actually refer to you more people. So one of the best ways, and this is something that we were talking about at your house yesterday, one of the best ways if you want to become an influencer is start engaging with influencers, period. You have to start commenting on those people. A lot of the reasons that you see, people like The Rock or people like Justin Bieber that have, millions and millions of followers, but they don't have millions and millions of people that they're following, it's not because they're being egocentric. It's because partially they understand that they can't listen to everybody. They have to listen to one or two people.
I think the biggest part of that is that, first off, we're all influencers, number one.
Right.
Number two, we're all human beings.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing that I've learned about being around amazing people is that we're all human.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be treated differently just because we have a certain follower account.
Right.
And if we do want to be treated differently, it's probably not a person I want to be around.
Right.
Right. And so at the end of the day, we all are human. We all have pain. We all have problems. The easiest way to be able to connect with, quote unquote, an influencer is it's very obvious when you're an influencer and you document your life. It's very obvious that there's a gap. Something that a vulnerable post that person has, where you can see. I had a guy that was like, "Hey, I think I can, super optimize your YouTube, right? Because of this. I think you can do this.
Right.
It was really easy for me to say, okay, cool, sweet, awesome. Right. Let's try it for 90 days.
Right.
It worked.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, sweet, awesome. Another person gave me today, literally just said yes. Hey, I see these 10 things that you're not doing on SEO.
Right.
Here they are.
Right.
I will literally do it for free for 90 days.
Wow.
And if it works, awesome. If not, and then, of course, if it works, I'm going to be his biggest fan.
Right.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
You just got to do value first.
Yeah, serve.
Right.
Serving. Yeah, so many people, and this is, when I had the privilege when I was 15 years old, I'm 22. When I was 15 years old, I worked at a sales and consulting firm that taught people how to understand behavior as an entrepreneur so that they can actually execute it well with hiring, sales, everything, operations. So one of the craziest moments of my life was when I was 15 years old. I was working for my friend's dad's company, and I got on the phone. I got right to the owner, and the owner was one of the top 6 billionaires in the oil software business. So I had a decision, right? I'm supposed to sell this guy, or I could try to serve this guy. And so I noticed that there's a difference between those who sell and those who serve, right? Those who sell come at you with a bib, right? They're like hungry, they're like wanting to eat something, right? But the people who are looking to serve, they take that bib off, they turn it into a handkerchief, and they come at you like this. They're looking to see how they can be your waiter. They literally will wait on you. And so one of the things that I did in that moment was I made a decision, and you talked about this, how you have that moment in your life where you take ownership. I think that was a pivotal moment where I took ownership, and I was like, what's this guy actually worth? Is he worth a $1,500 commission, or is he worth $15 million worth of personal value that I can build into a father, that I can build into a man?
It's also what your worth is.
Right. And it's super cool. And I love that you said that. What my worth was to not just him, but to me.
Right.
How I chose to value myself in that moment.
Exactly.
I told him 3 minutes in, I was like, you're not interested in the service. I know you're not. And I'm not going to disrespect you by even thinking that you are. If you'd be so kind, sir, would you share with me 1 or 2 things that you did in your life that changed the rest of it? Yeah. And
boom,
literally,
instant connection.
And literally, that 5 to 10 minute call turned into an hour and a half. And he literally told me, get this, is a true story. He went to school in Omaha, Nebraska back in the 70s, and he literally saw a guy that was getting bullied. And he was being bullied because, we were in warfare with that, trying to get oil and stuff like that. And he saw somebody from the Middle Eastern descent getting bullied. So he literally was like, I'm not going to let this guy get bullied in front of me. He intervened. He got literally beat up himself. So here he is on the ground, beat up with this guy, had no idea who he was. They bonded over getting beat up together. And he was literally like, why did you get beat up? And he's like, well, there's some people who know my background and I can't really share that, but we'll get into it. And he noticed that the one thing that was central about this guy was he was carrying a briefcase. He was carrying a briefcase the entire time. And he was like, dude, what's in the briefcase? He's like, I'm not supposed to tell anybody. I need to literally, make sure that whoever knows what's inside this briefcase is the right person. And I can only tell after I graduate college. And he's like, if you're wanting to stay my friend through the entire time, I'll let you know. So he's like, cool. So freshman year happens, sophomore year happens. They become best friends throughout the entire college experience. College graduation, they're sitting next to each other at graduation. The guy's like, man, dude, I don't even care what's in the briefcase. I just love who you are as a person. You've inspired me so much to be who I was. He opens it up. It's a 25% equity partnership signed by his dad, who just so happened to be one of the biggest oil conglomerate owners in literally the Middle East. He's like, I'm looking for an American partner because we're trying to actually branch from the Middle East to Americas before the Persian Gulf War, before everything. And that is literally how he entered into one of the biggest industries, because he literally decided to intervene in that moment, bullying. So how, and sometimes success doesn't leave a trail. I hear that all the time, like success leaves clues. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't, and you make the trail. Like you have to blaze your own trail. So one of the things that I learned as an entrepreneur, starting at 15 was sometimes it's not about you. It's always about the other person. It's just how can you be valuable to that person? And how can you serve that person as a waiter versus as somebody who's, coming to the restaurant looking to eat?
And I think one of the most powerful things from that whole entire story is the fact that in life you have a choice. At all times you have a choice. Even when a lot of times you feel like you don't have a choice, you do. And it may not be at that time, it may seem like it's impossible. I can't choose to do the right thing because if I didn't make that sale, maybe I won't be able to eat. I won't be able to pay my rent. At the end of the day, you have to really realize, we just learned this actually. Sterling talked about this, right? Short-term pain for long-term pleasure, or short-term, pleasure for long-term pain.
Yeah.
What matters to you most long-term? And I think when you really truly understand yourself, you understand your values, you understand what you truly want in life, you start to make different choices. And then when you do that, those choices is energy you're putting into the world, and people recognize that energy. And without even expecting anything in return, it's because of who you are, you're living your truth, things naturally happen. Relationships naturally happen. People recognize who you are. They want to be surrounded by you. And naturally, relationships happen, business happens, opportunities happen. And a lot of times it doesn't, that was a great story, but a lot of times it doesn't happen like that, right? Oh, great, he had a briefcase, he had 25%. Maybe that doesn't happen, but what happens is down the road,
that could happen.
That person may have been like, you know what, I have a friend that actually, I want to introduce you to, and it always at some point will lead to something because you're living your authentic truth, you're living who you are, you're living through your values, and you're not allowing any kind of short-term, attachment to whether it's, money, fame, followers, any of that, completely control who you are, control your energy, confine you in a box. Once you're able to break through that, you now can bend the fucking universe to however you want. You will have so much opportunity come your way. I'm telling you right now, it is, and it's sometimes it may be hard to comprehend, but we're here for you. So guys, connect with us. We want to help you. We want you to be a part of what we're doing. That's why we're doing this live stream. So feel free to hit up Scott, myself, the team here.
The boys.
I love it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Powerful stuff. We're going to wrap up. Again, those interviews are going to drop next week. So comment below, share some love, share this video, and make sure you're following the boys over here.
Yo, that was a power story.
See you guys.